Hi, this is Michelle. Let's talk about stuffing your Bucilla felt pieces. In your instructions, you will see a little spot here that talks about stuffing. It is suggested that you purchase polyester fiberfill to stuff areas indicated, and you only stuff appliques enough to create a three-dimensional effect. So the polyester fiberfill, you can buy this anywhere in stores. This huge bag is $3.99 at Hobby Lobby. I've had it for a while. This is what I always used to use in the beginning. I don't really use it much anymore, but I still have some just for other projects. But this is the fiberfill they suggest. I switched to the poly batting. It's quilt batting, and it comes in a big roll, and you can cut it. And this is what I used to use. I've changed now. I found this Dream Wool. I get this on Amazon. It's a little more expensive than the poly fiberfill, but I like how it is. I just like the feel of it. I think it stuffs better. So I use this wool batting, and also my friend Georgia told me about this Felter's Core Wool. You can get it from feltedsky.com. It is great stuff. It really packs in well. There's not much lint that comes off of it. I really like this stuff. So I use both. And when I'm stuffing, the important thing is you do not want to overstuff your projects. If you do, your stocking, number one, you'll notice it's not going to lay flat. It's going to be bunched up. It won't, the lines, you probably won't be able to fit your piece over the lines that are indicated for stuffing. So it'll just get all out of proportion and all out of whack. So I'm going to show you when I use the batting, the wool batting. I use it for things kind of like that are going to be stuffed but kind of a little flat. Also, like I used it in Mrs. Claus' hair here. It's stuffed a little, it's raised a little, but it's not raised a lot. I used it in her dress and her apron also. Now I used the core wool for her arm, and I really stuffed it, and you can kind of see how it's up, and you know, it gives that nice 3D effect. So when I do this computer here, I'm going to use the wool batting, and what I'll do is I'll lay it on top, and then I'll just kind of cut what I need. So it'll be stuffed, it'll be raised a little bit, but it's not going to be, you know, overstuffed and lumpy. That's a big thing when you're doing, you know, stuffing like this computer. I want it to be stuffed, but I don't want lumps. And this works great for if you're doing snowmen, and you can layer 2 or 3 pieces of this and make the snowman. He'll be raised, but he'll be raised all around and not lumpy. So when I do this computer, I'll use this batting, and before I start stitching, I'll lay it on there, and I'll kind of like look, and if I see where it's sticking out, I'll trim it. But if I notice that it's not gonna cover the lines, I'll go back in here, and I'll even take a little bit more off and kind of lay it on and make sure. So this, I would start stitching with it underneath. I would just pin it and start stitching. Now down here, I've started this little leg of Santa's little stool. This is where I'll use the core wool, and I'll take little pieces off. It helps to have something to stuff with. My husband has a 3D printer, so he made me this big purple needle. But a lot of people use cuticle pushers, skewers, even your scissors. You can get down in there. So I'll take a little tiny piece, and you know, sometimes if it's a little area like this leg of the stool, I'll roll it up a little bit, and I'll start stuffing it. And you'll know if you have too much. If your stitches start getting pulled, or it starts, you know, puffing out way too much, you'll notice, and you'll know to stop. So I can put a little bit more in there. The instructions too will tell you to sew about 3/4 of the way around your piece and then stuff it. I sewed all the way around except for this top here. And so I've got it where I want it. I've got it stuffed. I think it looks pretty good. And I will go and stitch the top of it. I don't leave that open, because if you don't stitch all the way around the piece that you're putting on, the piece that goes over top of it it might not lay right, so you might see those lines. So I just go ahead and I stitch the whole thing, and then I'll usually, you know, go on the back here and make a little knot. Just a little one, not, you know, it's just tiny. So there you go. That's how you stuff